Welcome to this channel about SimCity BuildIt. It's time for a new update after many issues in the game that seem to be solved but not. New Mayor's Pass, this time about Thailand. Let's analyze version 152.5, a minor version of the game. My name is Atlantis and I belong to the Isla Atlas Club. Let's start this review. It's been complicated days. Parties, commitments, family, children. More parties, more commitments, more family and more children. Apart from this, and the weakness that the databases of all the games in general, I mean their servers, take by habit, I expected to some extent that there would be more problems with SimCity BuildIt for these special dates. And so it was. On December 27th and 28th, 2023, access to everything that involved contacting the server was very complicated, not to say impossible. So much so that, for example, on the first day of the contest of mayors of those days, I decided not to play because it was hardly possible to do anything. Well, the thing is that if this is due to a change for the better, it is welcome. But as G3's town, president of the Pacific continent, club associated to Isla Atlas, said, the fact that it also takes place after the critical dates, that is to say, January 2nd and 3rd, was a cause for concern. But it seems to have been a problem for the better. That is to say, all those failures have been so that now the game goes, simply well, fluid in the connections. Then I will explain other problems. I suppose that it will have been a change of server, and this implies a very delicate work, in which a failure can knock down a game. Besides, such a process implies, in the best case, exactly what happened. Access problems for a few days. And so it was. The access problems were so chaotic, though logical, that the developers, once solved, gave away a building for the inconvenience caused, which was a winter holiday park, a building with night effects. But this didn't come alone, and this is where this review begins. This is a minor version of the previous version, so let's say it is an analysis that complements the previous one. We are dealing with version 152.5, which corresponds to development version number 111, which was available on January 9th, 2024. You may already know that I make the videos in Spanish, and now I'm starting to make them in English. This analysis is the first I do in English, and therefore I am going to explain minimally how I do them. There are simply 5 sections, each with several categories. Depending on the version analyzed, the categories will have a rating between 0 and 10. And if any category does not apply, I simply leave it unrated. Very easy, but now you are going to see it. In this version, there are no new features, so I leave this first section and all its categories without evaluating them. So we quickly move on to the next section, changes to the user. Here, as I always do in the Spanish videos, I rate the Mayor's Pass, this time dedicated to Thailand. Of course, whoever likes that country is in luck. What is my score? It is a 9. And if someone sees one of my followers in Spanish, they will tell me why I give it a 9 if I always give a 10. I may like Thailand more or less, but I am not rating it, I am rating the pass itself. Answering why I give it a 9 and not a 10 is because if you look closely at the pass, it is exactly the same as the previous one, which is the least of it. But it turns out that the cards offered in the Premium Pass are Tentacle Vortex, ranked 22 out of 24, one of the worst attacks in the war, and Fishaster, ranked 20 out of 24, another one of the worst. If you want to know why these 2 attacks are among the worst attacks in SimCity BuildIt, I encourage you to check out Trick 3, 8, 11, which ranks Club War attacks, according to Isla Atlas. For the moment it is only in Spanish, but soon it will be released in English too, and you will see how interesting it can be for you. Having that classification in mind, you will understand that giving 2 bad attacks in the same pass is a mistake. The pass loses a lot of incentive for all those who are interested in the club wars. They could have compensated a bit the Premium Pass, that is to say a level that offers some bad cards, and another level that offers cards that are at least in the average. And I have not lowered it to an 8 because for the Premium Plus Pass they have put 10 cards of the B-Movie Monster, which in the video I told you before, you will see the good position it occupies. and thanks to that detail I didn't lower the score anymore. But of course it forces you to buy the most expensive pass to get these 10 extra cards, which, in my opinion, are too few. The next category is event, but in this case during this week there is no event, so I cannot analyze it and it remains unrated. It is usually normal that in the first week of the pass there is no event, just as there is usually no design challenge just at the beginning of the pass. Regarding the playability, it remains the same. There are no changes and therefore I can't evaluate it. Let's move on to the fixes and improvements section, and let's analyze the first category of bug fixes. As I explained at the beginning of the video, there were numerous problems with the server, but this has led to the fact that when it comes to analyzing this version, those problems that I have always complained about in the reviews of previous versions have been completely repaired. So in this category, my grade is a 10. I understand the complexity of what I believe was a server migration, and they solved it in the only possible way. There could have been an infinite number of problems, and I know what I'm talking about, and there have been no more problems than the justified ones. Even with the inconveniences generated to the mayors, it is my most sincere score. The category Game Improvements. I can't rate it because there are no changes. By improvements I mean things in the game that were already there but have been improved, something that has not happened. Regarding the next category, Graphics. There has been, and there is, a problem with some decorative items of landscaping, such as ferns, I think they are called in English, or coconut trees. Some problem has arisen because once you put them in the city, they look black. It has generated problems with the design challenge since you couldn't make use of them unless you wanted a little gothic or burnt effect decoration. Of course, there were people who have spent too much to have this decoration for it not to be seen correctly. At first I had thought that it could be that certain items in specific areas, for example, some coconut trees in a mountainous area, might not be compatible or might dry out or whatever. It would have been something smart and maybe it would have been fine. But no, the problem goes elsewhere. It seems an error in the graphics of those two specific items, although I do not discard that there are some more that I have not seen. For that reason, my grade in graphics is a 3. It's not a disabling bug in the game, but it's still an important bug for everything I've told you. We enter in the section of defects and bugs, where I have to rate other bugs again. Because after all the problems at the end of the year and beginning of this one that I have already explained, it turns out that there was a bug, which actually I do not know if it is really a bug, a malfunction of the server or what, in which the games were not saved on the device. It was and is a very serious bug. You have to sync the game with the server to save the game on the server so you don't lose tasks done, factory productions and all the problems that goes with it. And I understand that not everyone needs to know that they have to do these things because of a bug in the game. People see that tasks are repeated, that the game doesn't work as it should, and that's it. Before I give my rating, let me remind you to like the video and to subscribe and hit the little bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Well, as I said, for this section I give it a 0. It is a very serious error that makes you lose a lot in the game. We continue analyzing already in the last section, Others, where I should make a small correction. We are still waiting for help to understand the trains a little better and explanations that do not arrive, nor I think they will arrive with the closure of the official website, where they have left a kind of sub-page within EA Games with 3 basic sections, one of them news, and where they do not even report the improvement of the trains. So I give it a 5. I won't comment on this anymore. We were just hoping that this update would be a version with a little more encouragement to correct the problems of the trains that I already explained in the previous review, and that I will not repeat. I thought they would have a new website to give the game a new lease of life, but nope. I think I've rated it enough in the last 2 reviews, and unless it changes I won't mention it anymore. And regarding the help on trains that is not coming and will not come, I hope that in the channel you will soon be able to find everything you need to understand them and to progress. With all the above in this minor version, 5 features have been analyzed, with 27 points, giving a total score of 5.4 points. As I say, we are facing a minor version, let's not forget this, where there are no significant changes and practically only the mayor's pass is valued, and events when there are, so the notes of these versions are usually good and are usually around 8. However, this version with the existing bugs and problems is not even 6, which says a lot about what is happening with the game at the present time. I'm going to show you to finish a table with the last 4 versions analysis of SimCity BuildIt so that you can see and compare the analyzed versions. This column here is the last review, the one I just showed you in this video, which should be on par in score with version 1.51.5, another minor version. And that, however, you have already seen how it has been. You can see how the last major versions tested have been pretty bad, not even reaching 5, always scoring between 0 and 10. I suppose that when the current mayor's pass is over, a new update will come, and I suppose it will be a major version. We will expect new features, train improvements, and the fixes we all expect. Here will be this channel to analyze all that. I hope you liked it. I also hope I didn't make too many mistakes in my translation. Remember that you have a link in the description for you to send your photo of the design challenge to appear in a trick video of the channel. Thank you very much for watching the video to the end. See you at SCBI. Greetings to all.